So if you want to have this elastic beanstalk, in the search for elastic beanstalk. So this will open. So this will open. In this you have an option called create application. So first it will ask you to create an environment. So here in the environment type you have two environments. One is web server environment and worker environment. So what is this web server environment and worker environment? So definition is given there itself. So runs a website, web application or web API that serves HTTPS requests. And this worker environment is run a worker application that processes long running workloads on demanding performs tasks on schedule. So if you wanted to do a scheduled deployment, so that means in a particular timing scheduling deployments, you can use this worker environment. And if you have huge amount of processing in your application, in real-time industries, you will follow this worker environment. So both have the same similar things. The thing is you need to choose whether it is a web server environment or worker environment. So as of now, we'll go with web server environment. Next, it is asking for the application name. So application name can be any name of your choice. So you can name it as a Java application. So you can name it as a Java application. Next comes optional things are like tags. If you wanted to specify any name for it now, you can go ahead. Next, environment information. So it will create an environment and it is asking for the domain name. So domain name in the sense, if you wanted to have any custom domain name, you can use. So like you can use your own name. So I'll use my name. And if you check for availability, if it is available, it will show it as a available. And if it is not available, so there should not be any special characters. See, this is available. So if you wanted to check any other name also, it is possible. So even this is also available, Java Anchor. Okay, and you can write your description. This is my first bean stack application. So this is my first beanstalk application. Next you need to choose the platform. So in the platform, if you observe, you have all types of platforms here. Java you have, Python you have, Ruby, Tomcat, Node, Docker. So which platform we need to choose, guys? For Java, Tomcat. So choose Tomcat with latest version. So previously we used to install 10, but now it is 11. And it is asking whether to upload a simple sample application or upload your code. So what is the possibility here? So if it is simple sample application means by default existing application which is already configured by AWS will be done. But we wanted our file to be or our application to be deployed, right? So you can click on this, upload your code. So whether the file is stored in S3 or local. So you know how to store the files in S3, right? So from the local you can upload it to S3 and S3 bucket URL you can upload. So you know how to find that S3 bucket URL? So open S3. So directly from here open S3. So there is a bucket here. So you can copy this bucket name or else just a moment. Suppose if you have this file now, so you can see S3 URI here for a particular object. You can copy this and you can upload it here. Okay, you can upload it here. But if you want your local file to upload, so there is a process for it. If you wanted to upload your own file which is there in the local, you need to follow some process. So what process you need to follow now? First you need to launch your EC2 instance. My battery is low. Guys, anyone having C-type charger? So guys, for doing this process, you need your EC2 instance. So name this as a Maven server. Name this as a Maven server. Select Ubuntu 22.04. Instance type t2.micro. Key pair, use default and launch instance. View all instances. So this is in pending state. Let it switch to running state. So meanwhile, if you want, you can have my GitHub application. So if you want now, you can make use of this application. So I'll just put it in the WhatsApp group. You can make use of that URL. So connect to this server. So install these 3 packages. So once, let's wait until these packages are created. So guys, there is another process for this. So if you have Maven configured in the local, you can use your local server to deploy your application, build your application. So if you don't have Maven, install Maven in your Windows. Or else you can install Maven in your EC2 instance, and from there you can transfer the file from EC2 machine to your local instance. You know, right? FileZilla or WinSCP you have been doing. So the files which are built by Maven, you can just drag and drop from remote server to local server. So let it finish. I will show how to do the transfer from remote to local. And then everything is installed. Now clone that repository, clone the repository, so this is the repository which I have. So enter into this repository, and wherever you see this pom.xml now, so use mvn clean install. This will build your application. So application is success, and if you see this target folder, so inside this target folder you have this artifact. So up to here you know, guys, right? Up to here you know. So you have been doing this in the morning. Now you need to transfer this file to where? Your local. Or else you can copy this file or move this file to S3 bucket. So I will show you both the ways how to download it to the local and how to upload it to the S3 bucket. So how to download this to the local? Use whatever agent you have. That means either WinSCP or FileZilla. So whatever it is, open it. What it is asking for subscription. Okay, we'll push it to S3. We'll push this to S3. So go to S3 now. Open S3. So create a bucket. So general purpose buckets, create bucket. So in this general purpose bucket, name this bucket as Java app and object ownership ACL enable, and unblock the public access, acknowledge. So if you want bucket versioning to be enabled, you can enable, or if you want, you can disable. Next, create bucket. So bucket name, okay, Java app 2025 08. Today's date is 6. So I'll use today's date and click on create bucket. So in your case you can use your register number to create the bucket. So open this, and I wanted to upload this object to S3, right? So for that we'll install AWS CLI. So AWS CLI install. So I want this AWS CLI for my Linux. So I have all 3 commands. I'm just copying all the 3 commands. Execute the commands here. Okay, so it is saying unzip is not found. So apt install unzip, install unzip package, and then install. So AWS CLI is installed. So check version AWS version. So it is giving me some version. That means AWS CLI is installed. After AWS CLI is installed, what to do, guys? AWS configure. So it is asking for access key ID, secret access key ID, and region and output format. So for access key IDs, where I need to go? IAM, open a new tab, IAM dashboard, security credentials. So go to security credentials, and I have 2 keys. So let me delete 1 key, deactivate. Create access keys, acknowledge, create access keys. So access key is created. Next, secret access key. So what is the region where I wanted to access this? AP-south-1. Output format is not required, you can blank enter. So now AWS is configured. Now I need to use AWS S3 LS to confirm whether it is communicating or not. So this is communicating with my S3 buckets. So I wanted to push my file to this bucket. So AWS S3 CP I will use. And what is the file name which I wanted to transfer? So this file I need to transfer, right? So AWS S3 CP, the name of the file which I wanted to send, S3:// the name of the bucket, and press enter. So file is uploaded as a form of object into this S3. So open S3 bucket and click on refresh. So you have the var file which is uploaded. So after uploading, select the file, go to actions and make it public by using ACL. So make public. So once the object is made public, open this file and copy the S3 URI and go back to your Elastic Beanstalk and public S3 file, paste. So guys, is it clear? Is it clear? So how to extract the var file and upload it? Next, click on, so in the presets it is asking single instance which is free type, or spot instance, or high availability, or custom configuration. So you can select any of these instance tiers depending upon your workload. If you are using heavy workloads, then you have to use high availability, which is spot and on demand instances. So as for practice purpose, single instance is fine, and click on next. So version it is asking, so version label will give it as 1.0 and click on next. So guys, this is very important. So service role EC2 instance profile role. So for this you need to create a dedicated role. So click on create role and it will automatically redirect you to IAM. So in the IAM, so you need not to select anything. Now in the recent updates, AWS is providing all the required IAM roles by itself. So previously now you have to select for which service you wanted to create role, these and all. But now no problem, AWS itself is providing the roles for the required service. So I didn't select anything, by default it has been selected as Elastic Beanstalk and it is asking for Elastic Beanstalk environment. So if you click next, see these are the permissions which are required for Elastic Beanstalk roles. So note down these roles. So these are required roles. So in interview they may ask you what are the required Elastic Beanstalk roles for deploying your application. So note down the roles required for Elastic Beanstalk environment. Roles required for Elastic Beanstalk environment. Roles required for Elastic Beanstalk for deployment. You can note down these two roles. AWS Elastic Beanstalk Enhanced Health and AWS Elastic Beanstalk Managed Updates Customer Policy. So these are the two roles which are required for EBS environment. Noted, guys? So roles required for Elastic Beanstalk environments. Roles required for Elastic Beanstalk environment or environment, anything. Some posh people will say environment. People like us will say environment. Guys, noted? So I am not creating any role because I already have a role. Okay, so you guys have to create a role. So in my roles, I already have a EBS beanstalk role. So service role I already have. So I am not creating, but you guys will create this role. And another role is for EC2 instance profiling. So another role is for EC2 instance profiling. So same, click on create role. It will redirect you to IAM. So in the IAM, you need not to select anything. So just scroll down, and this time, previously you have selected for environment, now it is for compute. And click on next. So these are the 3 roles. So these are the 3 roles. So note down roles for EBS EC2 role. Roles for EBS EC2. Roles for EBS EC2 compute. So don't get confused guys, EBS. There are 2 EBS. One EBS is related to storage and other EBS is related to deployment. What is this EBS full form which is related to storage? Elastic block store. And here this is elastic beanstalk. So don't get confused between 2 EBSs. So EBS role for EC2 compute. EBS role for EC2 compute. EBS role for EC2 compute. So note down these 3 roles. Elastic beanstalk multi-container Docker, EBS web tier and EBS worker tier. Noted guys? Noted? So these are the 3 roles. So even this also I am not going to create because I have my own role. See EC2 role. One is for EC2 role I have, and for environment also I have. So after roles are configured, click on this refresh button, that role will be automatically attached. Okay, so once the roles are attached, next select your key pair, click on next, and select your VPC, and in the instance settings, public IP address you have to enable. You have to enable your public IP address. So if you don't enable the public IP address, your application will not be accessible. So enable public IP address and select any one of the subnet availability zone. So if you have database, you can enable the database and provide the database details here. So the database details will reflect here, and select the database engine, storage, username, password. So these details under you have to update. So as I don't have any database, I am not enabling this. Let it be disabled. And click on next. And next it is asking for root volume. So under root volume type, select general purpose SSD. Select general purpose SSD and change this volume size to 10 GB because 8 GB is not supported, because minimum capacity is 10 GB. So by default it will be 8 GB. 8 GB is not supported. Change it to 10 GB. Next, so CloudWatch monitoring also it is asking. So metadata disable, you need not to have metadata. And security group, select default security group which you have. Let it all be default. Click on next. So health report basic or enhanced. So enhanced in the sense, if you have any of these CPU utilization, if you want, or CPU system, so you can select all these values which you wanted to monitor. So as I don't require monitor now, we'll disable this enhanced and switch to basic. And even this managed scheduled updates also, now it is not required. Maybe if you are working in real time now, so if any regular updates are happening to that application, then you have to enable this. But now as we are not dealing with any updates, you can disable this. Next, so if you want to have some notifications connected via SNS, you can give your email address to get the notifications. And deployment policy all at once, so keep everything default. And here at add environment property, add a server port, and you can mention on which port number you wanted to have your application. So as of now, let's keep it as a 8080. So once after port number is updated, click on next. So review your settings, and finally click on create. So Elastic Beanstalk is launching your environment. So you need not to do anything. Wait until all the services are created. So and the status, health will change to available or green. So the name itself green. So previously it will be as a gray color. So next, after it converts, after the successful installation, it will turn to green. So once it turns to green, then your application is ready. So wait for some time, it will take a while. See in the down below, you can see what are all the updates or events happening. See, it started creating EC2 instance, created Elastic IP, created security group, creating environment. So wait for a while. So let all the process happen. So environment successfully launched. So this is your application. Okay, this is how you launch your Java application. And if you see here in the EC2, there will be a new EC2 instance which is created. See, Java application environment. So this is the new EC2 instance which is created. And for this, guys, how can I connect this EC2 instance to auto scaling and load balancing? So finally, convert this into an AMI, create a auto scaling group, attach a load balancer for this to make it highly available for the deployment purpose. So you need not to ping this public IP address. So you can use this domain name. So guys, check this domain name and let me know whether the application is opening. I'll copy the link and put it in a WhatsApp group. So check for your status, whether it is connecting or not. You can check that link in your WhatsApp. So guys, this is how you do. So after successful launching and practicing, immediately you have to clean up this EBS. So how to clean up? Go to actions, terminate environment, environment name. What is the environment name? So this is the environment name. Copy this, terminate, and go back to application and delete the application as well.